everyone, welcome back to my Earth Friendly Kitchen. I'm Maria, your host, and today we're making fried chicken. Now, it's been a while since I've been on the channel. I just wanted to say hi. Thank everyone for your support as I was healing from my back injury back in December. It's been a few months since I've done a long video. I've been doing a lot of shorts just because that's what I was capable of doing. But I love you all for sticking through me and all of our new subscribers. I appreciate you joining the channel, and I hope you like this video. So we're going to start with breaking down the chicken. I like to buy the whole chicken when I do fried chicken because when you buy it already cut up, it's more expensive. So if you buy the whole chicken and just break it down yourself, it's really easy. And you just break it into the parts that you normally would for any, particular chicken. Just like any kind of starting when you buy a whole chicken, you want to make sure you're taking out all the insides. And we're going to cut the backbone as if we're doing like a spatchcock. If you haven't seen that video of mine, then please go free and check it out. But I like to just use scissors to get under the spine. To me, this just makes it easier to kind of cut everything else out. Because you can lay it a little bit flatter and have a little bit more control over your bird. Okay. All right. So there's the spine. It's going to go in our discard bowl. We have our chicken. And we can lay this nice and flat, and you can kind of see all the parts just like as if you were, going to be spatchcocking, like I said. So, you have your leg quarters, right? And so your leg quarter makes up a thigh and a leg, right? So, and you want to keep some of the skin on, right? For fried chicken, it's a good thing to have the skin on, but you could trim away like this excess here, just make it a little less fatty, right? And you could cut away this inner bone here as well. And you could do this with the knife as well. It's just some parts of this, and I will bring out the knife here soon. But some parts I think the scissors are a little bit easier to use for like these smaller parts here like this. Okay. All right. But when I get to the thigh, I'm going to get my knife, and you can just feel around here for the joint between the leg and the thigh, and you can either crack it or you can put your blade right in between and just cut it. So now you've separated your thigh piece and your drummy, and those are ready to be breaded for frying. All right, we're just going to do the same thing on this side. Okay, so now that we have our leg quarters taken off, now we can work on the chicken breast. Now this is your traditional chicken wing here, right? You have your wingette and you have your drummy. So again, you just get in there, find the joint of the meat. It's usually underneath here, like in the shoulder bone. And you could either take your scissors or your knife. Be careful with this. I like to start there and just put it down. And here is your chicken wing. Now you can fry this whole, like as a whole chicken wing. When I do fried chicken, I like to do this because you just get a little bit more meat. But if I'm making regular traditional chicken wings, obviously you usually cut them into your drummies versus your wingettes. So I like to just get in this joint and cut away. Just like that. Okay, and now for the chicken breast, this part, we're just gonna cut the skin down the middle because you have two breasts here. And you're just gonna follow along here on the breastbone and take your knife and just cut the meat away. Now your breasts, depending on how large your bird are going to be bigger in size than everything else. So This is one of the things that I pay attention to when I'm making fried chicken. I fry them separately from my other pieces of chicken because the breasts are gonna take a little bit longer, but because they're a little bit bigger and you don't want to overcook the rest of your fried chicken. Okay. And then these gizzards I'm gonna throw in with my waste pile. So you have a nice breast there. And you could even cut this into 2 pieces. Like I'm gonna make 2 fried chicken breasts here because that's a really big piece. And dredge those little tiny bits that you get sometimes with a knife cut. And you try to get all this chicken meat off the bone. You can have yourself a little chicken tender. I'll make that for Amelia. All right, so we've got our last 2 pieces off the breast here, and this is just rib cage, maybe a little bit of meat on there, but that's okay. Like I said, we're gonna make a chicken broth and it's just gonna add to the flavor of the broth. So now I'm gonna clean this up and I'm gonna get ready to do our breading and flouring for our chicken. Okay, so there are lots of different ways to dredge fried chicken. You can go online, Google, and you'll find 10 ways till Sunday on how to do this. This is just how I do it. If you know a better way or a different way, feel free, do it your way. But I just like this the way it comes out. I have one I have one pan for my dry flour. And then in another pan, I just put a little bit of water, right? You could do this with broth if you want like extra flavor or something like that. But I do water. You could do buttermilk, right? People do buttermilk a lot of times because it helps break down the proteins. I can't have dairy, and they don't really have a great dairy-free buttermilk substitute that I found so far. If you know of one, please put it in the comments. I would love to hear what you have. But what I'll do is I'll take some water and I'll just like kind of thicken it up with a little bit of the flour to kind of get that, kind of paste coating that is traditional of like buttermilk. And it also helps to add like a layer of the flouring. So it's almost like you're going to be double battering them, but not really, And I just mix it in so there's no clumps. And I want it to be, thick enough that things are going to stick to it. It's not just going to be like water. Because I'm also going to add some seasonings to both this and the flour so that you have really good seasonings throughout everything. Okay, good. And it's going to be basically just the same seasoning throughout both. So we're going to start with a little bit of salt, probably about half a teaspoon in each. And then we're going to do about a teaspoon of onion powder. Okay. About a teaspoon of garlic powder. About half a teaspoon of smoked paprika. A little bit more. Maybe 3/4. Okay. And we're going to do some white pepper. You could do black pepper too. I like white pepper. I just feel like it's not so in your face, but it really adds that depth of umami that we need. About a 1/4 teaspoon. Okay. And then we'll just kind of mix that all through the dry and then mix it into the wet. And then I just have a pan here so that once I kind of dip chicken, wet, dry pan, so that I can just take this over to the fryer whenever we're ready to fry. All right, so I'm just gonna take each piece. Try not to make such a mess as I am. Kind of soak them in there. Helps get the flavor on the chicken as well. Drip off the excess. Put them in the breading. Make sure you kind of get it all over. Okay. And this will also help it kind of get a nice, kind of coat layer. Like, you make your fried chicken, you want it to have a nice crunch. Some people do like to still go back and do like a double batter. I don't know, it's up to you. It's everybody's preference, whatever you want to do. Look at these little chicken tenders I have here for Amelia. But, I prefer to just kind of do it this way. Again, you do get a little bit of an extra coating from the flour in this seasoning here, and this, drip. Now remember, if you're doing something like chicken tenders like this, or like little extra pieces, these are gonna fry up a lot quicker than the pieces with the bone in them, right? So be careful not to overcook these fries. I usually will do these last because, you want them to get cooked really well. I am making a mess, guys. Oh my goodness. While I'm doing this, I have some oil on the stove that's already being heated up. We want the temperature to get to be about 360, 370 or so, because you want to cook the meat between like 325, 350. And when you put in the chicken, it'll drop the temperature down. So you always want to kind of heat it up past what you need, and then it'll naturally lower down, and you'll just want to kind of make sure that it stays that proper temperature while you're frying. All right, so we've got our breaded chicken ready to go into the fryer. So I'm gonna clean all this up and then we'll head over to the stove. Okay, so we've got our fried chicken here. We've got our hot oil. This is already up to temp, about 360 degrees or so. It wouldn't be 360, 375. So when you drop in your chicken, the temperature is going to drop and it's going to go down. And so you want it to stay between 325, 350. That's kind of the sweet spot for fried chicken. And then I have towels over here on a rack. So that way when it comes out of the fryer, it can help drip off some of that excess oil and get nice and crispy. All right, so when you're placing, be very careful when you place your fried chicken. Always place away from you. And you don't need a lot of oil in your pan because you're only going to be doing a couple pieces at a time. Now, obviously, if you're doing a large batch for people, then you want to, maybe do a bigger pan or something like that. But you really don't need to fill this all the way up. I only have it to be about right here at the bottom. And, that's good enough. And you want to kind of check your temperature when you place in the chicken to make sure that it's staying around that 325 mark to 350. Of course, be careful when you're over the oven, because if it's too hot, right, it'll burn. Perfect, 350. If it's too hot, then you'll run the risk of burning the outside of your chicken before the chicken's actually cooked on the inside. So this is why you want to do that. And if it's too low, then you run the risk of the chicken just kind of sitting in the grease and just soaking up the grease as opposed to using it to actually cook. All right. And every now and then you want to give it a little flip so that way, the chicken cooks evenly and that everything is being breaded evenly. And then we just wait for it to be done. Depending on which piece of meat that you're cooking will really determine how long each piece is going to take, or each batch is going to take. That's why I like to do them together, because I know that like these two drums are going to cook the same length of time, anywhere from like 12 to 15 minutes or so, to 16 minutes. And then, same thing for the thighs, and then the chicken breasts that are boneless. Those are only going to take about 10 to 15 minutes, right? The chicken wings, because they're small, they're going to be about 10 to 15 minutes. So, like cooking them together like that really helps you kind of keep your time engaged and know that everything's being cooked properly into temperature. Something you could do too with your thermometer when you're testing your oil, I like to use the same one I use to test my meat. When you're done frying these beautiful golden pieces, if you want to just double check that your chicken is done, place the thermometer into the center of the meat and make sure that you get a check, so you know that your chicken is done. There you go. Just like that. We're gonna fry up the rest of these pieces of chicken and then we'll show you what it looks like at the end. Okay, so we have this beautiful fried chicken here. I actually have 2 more pieces on the stove. They're finishing up now, but if we don't start eating soon, there's gonna be a riot in this house because it smells amazing. Just like anytime you fry anything in your house, it's gonna smell good. But just wanted to show you guys how deliciously crispy this is. Look how tender, it just falls right off. You can hear the crunch of the skin. Super crunchy, delicious meat. Pulls right off the bone. You can see how juicy that is. Perfectly done. Crispy skin. It doesn't get much better than fried chicken, you guys. So I hope you like this recipe. I hope you try it. Put any seasonings you want. You can make it your own. Give it some extra flair or extra spice, whatever you want to do. This is a basic recipe and you can just make it yours however you want to. I hope you love it. And if you do, don't forget to let me know in the comments. And also don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more recipes like this. See you soon. Bye.